this video is going to be a little bit different. And instead of me just telling you what you should be doing, I'm going to tell you something I'm going to do. And in turn, I hope that helps you. And, I wasn't even going to do a video tonight because I don't do videos on a schedule. I know, when you watch people on YouTube, they say, oh, you gotta upload videos every Tuesday, every Friday, whatever it is. I don't do that. I just when I have a thought, when I have an idea, when something comes to my mind that something that's important, I upload it. And something I was thinking about today is that, you know, I was I've been unhappy with my workout routine because I'm 45 and I've always exercised all through my life, but as I've gotten older, it's been sporadic. And a lot of times, what I've been finding lately, and for those of you guys that are older, who more my age, who have a family, who have kids, you understand that. I remember being young and I used to think, oh, you're crazy, if you want to work out, just work out. Well, it's a little more complicated than that. It is and it isn't. I like to say you got to just do stuff. Life doesn't care about your excuse. You can have the best excuse, but life doesn't care. Unfortunately, it just doesn't care. That's neither good or bad. That's just how it is. And but I do realize that as you get older, it's like a lot of times you go through your day working, taking care of the kids, do what you need to do. After work, you get the kids to practice, make sure the little kids are bathed and in bed, and then by the time everything settles down, every time everyone's settled in for the night, a lot of times the last thing I feel like doing is working. But here's the thing. Lately I take my two older boys to the gym every night, almost every night, and I'm helping my one son lifts a lot, and then my other son is practicing for basketball, and I help him with that. And one of the things I've been kind of unhappy with myself is that I feel like I've actually been exercising more this year than I've done in the last couple of years, like as far as working out, practicing my martial arts and all that. So I like that, but it's not to the intensity that I feel comfortable with. And I think that what I want to do is I want to up my intensity of my work, on my personal workout. Still do stuff with my boys, still help them train, but for myself, I need to take my workouts to that level up, and I want to get back to where I'm pushing it hard, pushing it with karate, pushing it with weightlifting. And the body I have is I'm a thinner guy. I'm about 6'1", 6'2", but I'm thinner. So when I work out, when I lift, I can lift a lot, and yes, I'll gain some muscle, but you won't really notice it. Like, that's how my body is. I don't know if you can tell in the videos or not, but that's how I am. But for those of you guys who are like me, you know that. Also, the difference is when you're working out to you're not working out, you might look the same or about the same, but you feel so much different when you're working out, you're lifting, you're doing it every day. You feel good. You feel real good. And I think it makes you stronger, mentally, obviously physically, and, gets you more clarity. And I think works your benefit in all areas of your life. And that's one of the things I'm going to do. So, but you could do it in any part of your life. Anything you're unhappy with, change it. I real quick, we'll wrap it on this. I was talking to, God, this is a long time ago. I was talking to a guy, and just like a business friend. He made a lot of money. He was real successful, and he always talked about, just like, his whole attitude was like, change it. If you don't like it, change it. And it's like kind of like refreshing, because you talk to so many people. A lot of times you talk to people and they're like, well, this part of my life sucks, and this sucks, and my job sucks, and this sucks, and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, okay. Now, yes, I don't know. I like to consider myself, I don't know if you'd call it a realist or whatever you would say, but I also like to think that things are not always as easy as just like, well, just do that. Okay. as you get older, as you have more responsibilities, and maybe you disagree with it, and that's fine. But I tend to think now, not that I'm saying things that you can't do stuff, but I'm just saying it's not always so easy, right? Um, Sometimes things take a little more effort. Sometimes you have to like do things before you do other things, whatever. But I thought that attitude is interesting of like, if you don't like it, change it. It's so simple, so simplistic, but it's kind of refreshing. So if there's something you don't like, change it. If you're not happy with your physical body, change it. Change it. Start working out. Start, practice a martial art. Practice jujitsu. Practice karate. Practice wrestling. Practice um, whatever, or judo. If you're not happy with your education, tomorrow go to Barnes and Noble, buy a couple books, start reading. If you're not happy with your job, I'm not saying quit your job because that's probably the wrong thing to do. But maybe start looking at different jobs. Maybe start hunting the. Now I'm going to sound old, but I was going to say look at the classifieds. I know you don't do that anymore for jobs, but however you look for jobs, go online, look for jobs, and start maybe uploading your resume to some places. If you're not happy with the way you are as a parent, maybe pick up a parenting book. Maybe talk to your kids. Talk to your kids. What are you unhappy with? Where am I good? Where am I bad? They'll tell you. They'll tell you. They'll tell you. You know what, Dad? You're too fussy after work. You know what, Dad? You never let us do this. Whatever. And it might be. And I'm telling you right now, it's probably a very simple thing. Maybe you're not happy with the spouse you are. Maybe you're not happy with the way your relationship is. With your girlfriend, or maybe you're not happy with the relationship with your wife. Change it. Change it. Change it. It's probably you. It's probably not them. It's probably you. We want to blame the other person, but usually, actually, let's wrap it on this. I just said let's wrap it on this, but let's wrap it on this. That brings up a good point. I kind of, me and my wife kind of laugh a lot of times because, I got her on the thought process of there's always two. Well, actually, there's always, the saying is there's three sides to every story. There's your side, my side, and their truth, right? But we joke around that when people get out of relationships or people get divorced, people break up, for some reason, just think about this in your life, you you break all the odds, despite all probability, but every person you know who got divorced, every person you know who broke up, you just happen to know the person who got screwed over, the good person in the relationship, and the other person was bad, right? Of course, we never hear both sides of the story, and that's when me and my wife, I got her laughing about it because I always bring it up. I'm like, not never. Very rarely is it one side. Yes, sometimes one person's bad. So, of course, before you think of the exceptions, like, well, my uncle was in an abusive, or my aunt was in an abusive relationship, blah blah. Okay, guys, those are the exceptions, right? But in general, it's both sides. So here's my point. Let's say you're unhappy with your relationship right now with your wife. Is it just her? Is it just her? Well, she doesn't sleep with me anymore. Well, why? Why? Why doesn't she? You hear guys saying that all the time. Why doesn't she? Well, because she's a bitch. Okay. Maybe. But before we just run off and blame her, look at it from her point of view. Are you helping out with chores around the house? Are you taking care of bills that need to be paid? Does she need to always bug you about paying a bill? Does she always need to bug you about picking up the kids? Does she always have to bug you about helping getting the kids to bed? Does she always have to bug you about this? Are you demanding stuff of her like, hey, you're demanding dinner, you're demanding this, you're demanding that? But what are you giving? I'll tell you what. Go to the store, go to Kroger. Kroger, you can buy a dozen roses. Because if you go to buy her a dozen roses, if you go to the florist, you'll spend, I don't know, $60 for a dozen roses. Go to Kroger. They're like $12. And they're nice. Buy her a dozen roses. For the hell of it. Start there, guys. Start there. What are you unhappy with? Change it.